So this is, and I guess the document site's down again, huh? Just too much traffic. Let me see. Comes now Brian C. Kohberger by and through his attorney of record, Ann C. Taylor, public defender, and hereby, here, I'll put it in full screen too. 1 second. Just while we read this document here. That's as fullest as I can get it. Zoomed in as much as I can zoom. Hereby files notice in response to the demand for alibi in compliance with Idaho Code 19519 and Idaho Criminal Rule 12.1. Mr. Kohberger notes that Idaho Code preserves his constitutional right to silence as well as to testify on his own behalf. Mr. Kohberger stands firm on his constitutional right as well as the statutory recognition of that right. Noteworthy is that an alibi indicates a line of proof by which the defendant attempts to show that he could not have committed the crime of which he is accused because he was elsewhere at the time. Elsewhere at the time. A defendant's denial of the charges against him does not constitute an alibi, but as soon as he offers evidence that he was at some place other than where the crime of which he is charged was committed, he is raising the alibi defense. Mr. Kohberger's defense team continues investigating and preparing his case. Evidence corroborating Mr. Kohberger being at a location other than King Road address will be disclosed pursuant to discovery and evidentiary rules as well as statutory requirements. It is anticipated this evidence may be offered by way of cross-examination of witnesses produced by the state as well as calling expert witnesses. They're saying he's got it.
They're saying it's Bethany Funk, I think.
They're saying he's got it. And isn't that interesting, Jesse?
Doesn't that indicate that the Bethany Funk testimony is what is his exculpatory? That's his alibi. Is Bethany
Isn't
Funk.
That's what it sounds like to shit, me. Man. That's what it sounds like to me too. That's what it sounds like to me too. And then it makes you wonder, what's up, Pappy? And then it makes you wonder all this shit that we've been hearing about this BKBF,
the car and everything. I mean, if that's his car, he wouldn't dare have the balls to provide that alibi, right? Because all they need is one picture of his car or anything, and then he's guilty as sin, right? So if he's actually going to come out and say, I wasn't at the King Road house at the time because I was somewhere else, he probably wasn't there, or he's playing a really dangerous game.
Let me see if that's better for you guys. No, probably not. Let me see here. So comes now Brian C. Kohberger by and through his attorney of record, Ann C. Taylor, public defender, and hereby files notice in response to the demand for alibi and in compliance with Idaho Code 19519 and Idaho Criminal Rule 12.1. Mr. Kohberger notes that Idaho Code 19519 preserves his constitutional right to silence as well as to testify on his own behalf. So it preserves his right to remain silent as well as testify on his own behalf. Mr. Kohberger stands firm on his constitutional right as well as the statutory recognition of that right. Noteworthy is that an alibi indicates a line of proof by which the defendant attempts to show that he could not have committed the crime of which he is accused because he was elsewhere at the time. Basically saying he's got an alibi to state that he wasn't even in the area when these crimes took place. Defendant's denial of the charges against him does not constitute an alibi, but as soon as he offers evidence that he was at some other place other than where the crime of which he is charged was committed, he is raising the alibi defense. Mr. Kohberger's defense team continues investigating and preparing his case. Evidence corroborating Mr. Kohberger being at a location other than the King Road address will be disclosed pursuant to discovery and evidentiary rules, as well as statutory requirements. It is anticipated this evidence may be offered by way of cross-examination of witnesses produced by the state, as well as calling expert witnesses. So they're saying, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems like they're saying he wasn't at the property. He wasn't by the property when the crime's taken place. And some of his alibi might even come out during questioning of witnesses or experts. Damn. So you may not even need to hear the alibi before you hear the damn alibi.
You know, I've never said that I think he's innocent.
Thank you.
But this makes me think, you know, he might be. He might be. It's the first time I'm saying that he, you know, because that it takes balls to come out and make those statements.
Maybe that's why he said that when he got arrested in PA, because maybe he was kicking it at Billy's house and he was like, yo, I can't wait to get back there to get exonerated or what. I know I'm going to be charged with it, but I'm going to be set free because I know when I'm going to give him my alibi, damn it, I have proof. Me and Billy were playing Street Fighter 2 all night, you know? It makes you like to not even. So then you got a question. Okay, it doesn't say, you know, he leaves, according to the PCA, leaves the property a couple minutes later down the road as he's going into downtown frickin' Pullman and not the back way, shuts the phone off, but then turns it on 5-something in the morning, heading south of Moscow. How do you, and then you have this path that takes you 50-some minutes south out of the way to go back home, and you take this way out of frickin' way crazy ass path with, if you just committed a crime where you unalived 4 people, I don't know why you're taking another 50-some minutes to get home when, you know, but whatever. That's where I'm confused now. How are you tell me that
she said there's no evidence against him. I've always thought there's plenty of stuff that makes you ask questions about him. None of it's been concrete enough to say that you could convict him over it. But now, like you said, all these things that make you ask questions about him, what do they all mean? This case is mind-blowing.
And P. Fox is right. That, like, you literally were able to fucking bust through fucking windows and doors at 2-3 in the morning, you know, like, to go in there like that based off of this shit. Now, he could say he's got a fucking alibi and it might not pan out. I mean, that's just the process of how this shit works. But at the same time, you know,
knowing
why are you going to say you have an alibi?
Is she going to let him say something stupid if he can't back it up?
Right, especially some other.
I mean, she's signing her name to this,
used against them. Yeah, like their own technicality kind of shit. And like you're not. Are you like, how are you gonna, like, your alibi, right? Like, I don't know. This shit's crazy.
His defense team has to vet the alibi before they're going to present it, right?
Right.
So this would mean that they've vetted it and they feel unless they think that the prosecution's case is so weak and they're trying to use this as a bluff to make but then again. But then again, you'd be risking your reputation.
Yeah, that's a big bluff. So, I mean, yeah.
Like I say, this isn't just Brian saying I was at my buddy's house. Trust me, this is his defense team signing off on an alibi that you know that they must have vetted.